Hello, everyone. I'm Randy Arrington, and welcome to episode 110 of Page Valley Living. We're here today in the depot in downtown Luray with Jackie Wood to talk about the Luray Downtown Initiative and what's up in downtown Luray. We're going to talk about new businesses that are coming, and yes, that does include restaurants, as well as some programs that LDI has going on to go along with the 250th celebration. We'll get an update on what we call the Art Warehouse, the new housing project, multi-use project at 15 Campbell Street in Luray. We'll also talk about some upcoming events in downtown, some other programs they have, some loan programs. If you're a new business out there looking to get started, there's a lot of ways that LDI can help you. We're going to talk about all that and more in just a moment after a word from our sponsor.
Whispering Pines Assisted Living is now accepting new admissions. Quality care at affordable rates, professionally trained staff, memory support, and short-term respite stays are all offered by Whispering Pines Assisted Living, powered by Valley Care Management, where home and heart meet. Call for a tour today on Leakesville Road in Luray or learn more at valleycaremanagement.com.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. We're here today in the train depot, the Luray Page County Visitor Center right here in downtown Luray. And we're talking with Jackie Wood today, the program director of the Luray Downtown Initiative. Jackie, thank you so much for taking some time with us today.
Randy, thank you so much for taking time to visit with me.
Absolutely. Well, there's always a lot seemingly going on downtown. We see your reports every month to the Luray Town Council, and you always have a lot of bullet points to go over. And the thing we want to start with today, we've got a lot of programs and other things we'll talk about in the second segment, but we're going to get right to what everybody wants to talk about. When are we going to get a new restaurant?
Well, we've got one in the works with the, I'm sure if you've noticed, the banners went up on the corner where Watch and Warrant was previously located.
Right.
And that is a family from Front Royal who currently own a restaurant in Front Royal. I've eaten in their establishment several times. It is very good. So I'm very excited that they've chosen Luray to come and open another restaurant in. And I'm going to let you pronounce the name.
I'm going to try it. I think I got it. Los Portillos, which we believe is the ponies, maybe,
Right.
or we think. we'll let the owners tell you patrons that go out and try. But we've heard really good things about the restaurant that they have in Front Royal, that the food is excellent. And that is Los Portillos, Mexican restaurant coming right down the corner of Main and
Broad.
Main and Broad, right down there in the middle of downtown. I have a feeling that folks are going to really give that one a try when it opens. Do we have any clue of when it might open?
Not sure, but my anticipation is by summer. That's what
By
I'm
summer,
anticipating,
okay.
yes.
Okay, very good. Well, let's go right on down the list. Now, there's another eatery that's going to be a little bit up the hill there, right?
Correct. That is going to be Dolce.
Okay.
And Dolce is going to be another unique shop that we're going to have on Main Street. They're going to have gelato. They're going to offer coffees. You're going to be able to actually go in and have a gourmet coffee. They're going to do some pairings, as I understand it, perhaps with some pastries. This business is being created by the same gentleman that owned Porch and Vine,
Right.
which is right next door.
That has gotten rave reviews so far.
It's just incredible. And they are going to, which is Farmer Tony Vila and his business partner, Isaac George. So I'm very excited for that. With what the fellas are telling me is they plan on having that ready to go by summer. I know that their crew has been up there working very, very hard and getting it ready.
There's some renovations on the building,
Yes.
and all, and you say that's going to be coffees and things like that.
And gelatos, pastries, and some
And I
things
know
like that.
they've got some plans. I don't know how much they want to talk about or get out there, but some plans for I'll call it the backyard or the back
Right.
area.
They're going to have some green space available so people can go and they can sit and enjoy their treats and have conversation.
And maybe a connection between the two businesses.
Right. Actually, yes,
Yeah.
you would be able to probably, like for example, you may go to Porch and Vine for lunch when they're open for the season, And then you might decide, you know what, before I go back to the office or go wherever, I'm going to go next door and get a gelato. You'll be able to walk right around to there and get something. So.
Well, that is excellent. So that we had 2 new places to eat coming. Let's look at, we're going to have someone take over the little art gallery there next to the Mexican restaurant, right?
Yes, and I'm so pleased about this. It's Mr. Gary Grant. Most folks out there probably are aware that Gary painted the mural that's down here across from Town Hall on the Cody building next to Uncle Buck's, that beautiful.
Right, kind of across from Town Hall.
Yes, that beautiful mural that he painted that Susan Corbett, one of our Main Street stakeholders, had him commissioned to do. And so I'm really excited that we're going to have a local artist in that space again. I do believe there probably will be some other artwork by perhaps some other artists as well, but just happy to see art on our Main Street.
And Wes Porter is retaining ownership. He's just going to lease it
That
to
is
Gary,
my understanding,
and Gary
yes.
is going to take over that
Yes.
part. And the one thing we want to tell people too, if they're a little confused, the art warehouse, when it moved out on 211, they had a portion out there,
Right.
and then they had a portion in this space that we're talking about. And now, I think you're saying it's been almost a year that they moved everything out to 211.
Yeah. They went ahead and moved everything out to the 211 art space, and so this building has been sitting vacant. And then it was just, and then recently Gary decided to work with Mr. and Mrs. Porter, and he's come up with this, so we're just thrilled to have art back on Main Street.
That's fantastic. You know, I drove by it. I thought I saw some things in it. I was not aware it was actually closed.
Right.
So that's excellent. We're getting another door opening on Main Street. That is outstanding. In fact, that is a 3rd one now. We're going to go to a 4th one, and this one is right around the corner. A lot of activity on Broad and Main there. Right around the corner, we'll call it the Little Purple Building, which I think at one time was the Tea Compass Room.
Compass Tea.
Compass Tea, okay, and then I can't remember the last name of the last
And then it was
business.
the Purple Brew.
The Purple Brew, and now it is going to be a clothing store.
It's going to be a used clothing store and or resale clothing store. So I actually will be having the opportunity to meet with the owner this coming Monday, and she and I, along with our economic development director with the county and maybe a couple of other folks, will be meeting with her, and we're going to be discussing, you know, everything that we can do to make her transition to Luray and Page County as promising as possible.
And you said that's the Yoder family from in Rockingham County,
yes,
Harrisonburg
that area.
address in that area.
Right.
And I assume, you know, there's 2 doors there. They're going to use the entire space.
Yes.
Very good, very good. All right, so we talked about Gary's place and the Yoder family coming over, and the family coming from Front Royal to open the Mexican restaurant, Farmer Tony and Isaac George opening Dolce, and one more. There's going to be some new plans for, well, a lot of us still call it Valley Cork, but I guess it was a taste of home most recently. What's going to happen in that space?
So the owners of that building, they have decided that they are going to create an event space on the street level floor, which is, because there's actually 3 levels to that building.
Okay.
Upstairs there's a rental, and then there was the restaurant level, and then below there's a very nice bar.
Really unique little space
It is
for a bar.
very unique. And so from my understanding, their plans is to have the bar open, that bar area open, and to probably, you know, to be providing like bar food, things like that.
Sure.
And then they're looking at doing events in the space above. For example, if you want a bridal shower, baby shower, or something like that, you could contact them about holding an event there.
Wow, that's a great space for a private party like that. That's outstanding. Long ways from the days of the hardware store that it's been, and how many restaurants? But outstanding. So we've got 5 new spaces, 5 new doors that are going to be opening on Main Street. Like I said, a lot of it seems to be concentrated on that Broad and Main corner as you go around. Actually, the 3 businesses right there on the corner. Excuse me, and a couple not far up the street. So that's going to be outstanding. Any other hints of maybe anything else in the works, or people looking at properties, or anything else like that? Where I know a lot of times you might see 10 people look at it and nothing happens. But is it anything else kind of simmering?
We do have a property on West Main Street. It's on that corner there, like if you turn to go up, I think, what is it, Court Street or whatever. The building that sits there, I think it used to be a counseling center at one time.
Just up from Edward Jones, no, a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit up from Edward Jones, beside Ollie Cat. I guess it would be beside Ollie Cat on the corner.
Okay.
And I know that building is up for sale, and there's been quite a bit of, we've had a few inquiries. I know I've had a few inquiries, and I know that the ladies at the chamber have had a couple inquiries.
I did not know
so
that
I
was
do
for
know
sale.
that is listed and for sale. So, and that's a very much a multi-use building. You could do a lot of things with that building. It's very nice on the inside.
And you're going to tell me that in 3 months somebody's going to come in and redo the Micromack building and just have all kind of wonderful things in there, right?
I would love to tell you that. Trust me, Randy Arrington, when that day comes, everybody will know, because I will literally run through the streets of Luray holding a flag saying it's done.
Well, we're making progress. That's the whole thing. We're getting doors back open on Main Street and in the downtown area of Luray, and that's always a good thing to talk about. And particularly when everybody's looking for new restaurants, we got a couple on the way. We're going to talk about in our next segment some of the projects that LDI is working on and some of the ways you can get involved, and also things that are coming up, some of the events, as springtime is just around the corner. We'll talk about all that and more in just a moment after another word from our sponsor.
Hawksbill Assisted Living in Luray is now accepting new admissions. Hawksbill Assisted Living, powered by Valley Care Management, offers quality care at affordable rates, professionally trained staff, and veterans aid and attendance. Come visit Hawksbill Assisted Living, located near the beautiful Hawksbill Greenway in Luray. Call for a tour today or learn more at valleycaremanagement.com.
And welcome back once again, everyone, here to the Luray Page County Visitor Center in the Old Depot in downtown Luray. We're talking Downtown Luray and the Luray Downtown Initiative with Jackie Wood here, the program director. Lots going on always here in downtown Luray. And one of the projects that's kind of a long-term thing that we want to talk about here a little bit, get a little update on, is what many of us still call the old art warehouse here at 15 Campbell Street, just across the street from the depot that we are sitting in right now. Some developers have come in and want to create a multi-use project. They're going to create, I think the exact number is maybe still in flux, but let's just call it about 20, maybe even a couple more than that. Apartments that are affordable, that fall into the affordable housing category. That's why they have gotten some help from the government. We're not going to get into that yet or talk about that today, but they're getting a little help to get going, and we're hoping, I think that they said they might be to the point by the end of this year that they may start taking applications. I'm not exactly sure. Where are we at?
So, in speaking with Mr. Herman, who is in charge of this project, the last time we spoke, they are shooting for April as a start date to start the construction. So we are hoping that all the stars align and that he's going to be able to hit that target. And from what his understanding is, and from what he's been telling me, this is going to move pretty quickly once it starts. And so possibly by the end of the year, that would be possible that they could start taking applications.
And at one time, I know things have changed, but at one time, I think he said maybe a year construction time, so it might be next spring.
Next spring, yeah.
But that would be, at that point, I think they would be pretty close to welcoming people. So obviously a few months before they're going to start going through applications and things like that.
And so,
if not the end of 26, maybe early 27.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I've been working with him and working with him on his efforts to find businesses that would like to lease space in the basement. Because that is a very nice space, and there's a lot of potential for businesses, especially small businesses or even startup businesses. That would be a great place to start.
Man, the one thing that amazed me, and I haven't done a complete walkthrough, I still haven't seen the basement.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
But that building is a lot bigger than people realize,
It
or it
is.
has a lot more space in it. When you have all three levels, I think. And like I said, they're going to have 21, 2, 3 apartments, something like that. They're going to have the, I think some commuter workspace.
Correct.
They're talking about maybe a little gym for the residents.
That's
I don't
correct.
know if that's going to happen
Correct.
or not. At one time, that seemed like.
But those are all things that have been discussed
Yeah.
in town council and in his presentation.
And in the basement, like you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about, maybe a little restaurant that could be open to the public as well as the tenants.
Correct. Yep. So we're looking at a lot of potential things for that building. So it's an exciting project for our town.
It absolutely is. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's going to be great because, the big fear I think of myself and a lot of other people when the art warehouse was kicked out basically by the owner who wanted to develop it was how long is this building going to sit empty before something happens? So
Right.
to see this happening is very, very,
It
very
is.
positive. Okay, let's move on to another thing here. Let's talk about the 250 flag project. What is that?
Yes, so Councilman Perry he's also our liaison for the Luray Downtown Initiative Board. And so he brought this project to our attention, and of course my board voted for it to do this. We're excited that we're getting to do this project. So what we have agreed to do, we are purchasing flags. They will go from D Ford Avenue to Memorial Drive because that is the historic district for downtown Luray. That's our blueprint. That's what we cover.
Okay.
And so these are Betsy Ross style flags. And then they'll have the 250 on them, and those flags will be going up. So it's about 40 flags total that LDI is purchasing, is our gift to the town as part of our celebration to the 250.
Wow. Excuse me. And they're going from where to where again?
From D Ford Avenue, which is by Bradley Funeral Home,
Okay.
to Memorial Drive, which is near the hospital.
Oh, wow.
To that
Okay.
end, yeah. Yeah.
Right through
Yeah,
downtown.
in the
then.
historic district. So we're really excited that we're going to be able, as an organization, to provide that to our citizens. And then we're thinking that when it's over, we're going to put them up for sale. So if anybody wants a commemorative flag, then
That is a good idea.
we will have them up for sale.
Because you're not going to use them again because
No,
it's only
right.
251.
And
That's a
so-
really good idea. That's excellent. That's a good way to maybe recoup some funds there. All right. Now let's talk about more banners, veterans banners. I think some folks saw Newmarket and Mount Jackson doing this, and then Stanley took the lead in the county. I'm not sure if Shenandoah does it or not, but Luray is now going to start having veterans banners. And by Memorial Day, tell me about that.
So this project, it was a project that came to my attention about 2 years ago. And the town reached out to me and they said, Jackie, we're getting all these inquiries about people wanting to know why we don't have veterans banners. Would you be willing to look into it? And I said, of course. And so I was able to get with Christy Bosley and Stanley because she started the project there. She was gracious enough to come down and meet with us. So initially it was presented to me to do it maybe as a fundraiser for LDI. Well, personally and morally, I did not feel comfortable making money off of veterans. So I said, I don't feel comfortable with that as a fundraiser. I said, but however, I am also a member of the ladies auxiliary, or the auxiliary, we can't say ladies anymore, but the auxiliary with the VFW. And I said, I would like to take this to the auxiliary and make this a VFW project because those ladies have the time. It is a very time consuming, it's a lot of working parts to make this project happen. These ladies have worked very hard. Shirley Flea Hardy is kind of the chair, and she's taken up the torch, and she's doing a phenomenal job.
That's a good one to have,
Yeah,
Dylan.
she does everything. And so, but at any rate, we are at the finish line almost. We are just getting like the final proofing and things like that needs to be done. But their goal is to have them ready to go up by Memorial Day.
And obviously, I guess the town crews will help.
Yes,
with
the town is
installing
so
and-
graciously said that they will help us with the putting up and the taking down, and the VFW ladies have arranged for their own storage and all that kind of stuff.
So, two questions on that, and we'll move on to something else. I'm just curious. Have you taken names yet? Do you know about how many you're going to have?
I don't know a total off the top of my head. I should know that, but I don't. But I do know that to keep it fair, what they decided to do was offer it to the Comer Jones Post, the Luray Post first, and give those veterans first right of refusal,
Yeah,
because we're very, very, very limited on how many posts we have, and we're hoping that we may be able to gain more posts, in the future. But we don't like to promise anything because we don't know. It depends on a lot of things.
Well, I can remember the special veterans section that we did when we were at
Yes,
the newspaper,
yes.
and 15, I think we got up to 1,500.
We sure did.
And I'm going to tip my cap to Tracy Moyer on that. That was her project. And if I'm not mistaken, it was her idea when we started it. And she took the reins and did really well with it. And every year it got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah, it did. And Randy, when Christy met with me, she told me that she still gets photos from Cindy Bannock.
Oh, wow.
Because Cindy did the layout.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Well, I think that's going to be your challenge is if you have a max number that you can get to and you can't go over, you might have folks still clamoring to get in.
So we know that that's a possibility, but we're doing the best. At least we've started.
One thing people might ask is, hey, great program, great feel-good program, but who's paying for the brackets and the flag?
The family members are
Okay,
purchasing
okay.
the banners. So the family members purchase their banner.
Okay.
And or the veteran themselves, however, but they purchase their banner.
Right.
And then we have raised, or the auxiliary has raised money to purchase brackets and things like that.
Okay.
And I think there's some that might have brackets. I believe that the town might be letting us use, I think.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's just a great community project all the
And
way
we're
around.
going to get it, we're going to have them by
So the
Memorial
goal is
Day.
to have them by Memorial Day because it's like I said, we want Main Street to be red, white, and blue.
And I assume you're going to have them, you're going to put them up at Memorial Day, you're going to put them up at Veterans
Yes, sir.
Day. Any other times, or how long do we expect them to stay up approximately? I know you may not know all of that.
I don't know, and actually I do know that Brian Chrisman, our town manager, I know that he has already created a schedule to share with Lynn Matthews, our Public Works Director, because it will be those Public Works fellas that'll be putting them up and taking them down.
Okay. Hey, that's a great one. That's another great project there. All right, let's keep on moving so we can hit them all. Actually, I've got 3 here I'm going to group together, and you can talk about them how you would like.
Sure.
One is the small area grant. One is the facade grant program, and one is the community development grant program. All that LDI has a little something to do with. This is seed money to help businesses get started or make improvements or renovations or facade improvements. Tell us a little bit about those 3 programs, because I bet there's a lot of people out there that don't realize that LDI has these financial resources to help.
Right. So the community development loan is a pool of money that has come from previous projects that LDI did over the 20 years that it's been around. And so there was a loan pool of money. So business owners can apply for this money, and then it's a 0 interest loan. They have like 5 years to pay it back. And we do have some business owners right now that are in that loan pool that have taken advantage of that for various reasons, improvements, things like that on their businesses. So we're very pleased that we have that. LDI, our program itself, we can offer up to a $2,500 facade grant, and we can offer you up to a $500 sign grant. Now, that is always based on available funds, because we're a nonprofit 501(c), and we do get funding from the town, but we're responsible for our sustaining ourselves as well.
Right.
So I have set aside a budget this year for some facade grants. I already have one that has picked up an application, a new business that's joined downtown. I'm not comfortable saying their name, at this time to protect their privacy. But I know that they're looking at doing that. Now, you can't get both. It's either facade or sign, but we don't do both. Because we try to keep the money pool to help as many business owners as we can. We try to keep it that way. And then the other one that you were talking about was
the community.
We talked about the community development.
Small area grant.
So the small area grant, that is a grant that LDI received. It's a $50,000 grant. We applied for it. It was a grant that came out. It came from ARPA money.
Okay.
When the ARPA funds were being put out there.
Oh, okay.
So what it is it was an RFP that we put together, and we sent it out to consultants throughout the state of Virginia, asking them to tell us how we could better improve West Main Street.
Okay.
And we piggybacked it off of the T-Mobile grant that the Greenway Foundation received for Ruffner's Plaza. So they came and visited, and we were able to piggyback it off that project.
Okay.
And so to talk about how we better can wrap our arms around West Main, because one of my goals in the 5 years I've been in this position is to create more connectivity between West and East Main, to
Okay.
have more connectivity.
And so we were talking about grants and things that people may not know. Hopefully they know now that LDI can offer to businesses that are looking for a little help getting going, or renovating or rejuvenating their business, so to speak. But there's something that people see every single day that's right in front of them, at least in the spring and summer, I guess fall, that they don't know that LDI does, the hanging baskets on Main Street.
Right. LDI has been providing those hanging baskets for probably close to 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And that is something that we do.
And how often do you change them through the year, or do you just...
So what we do, Jennifer, who is our superintendent of Parks and Rec, she's great about coordinating that with the folks that we use for our landscaping.
Right.
And so we usually right now I just told her to place our order, and we will put them up. We usually put them up around Mother's Day or before Memorial Day, depending on the weather.
So from May...
And they usually stay up May through September.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then for like trick or treat, if you've noticed, and at Christmas time, our wonderful tree and beautification club, or not club, but committee, they do the little hanging baskets with the spiders in them, and then they do with the Christmas greenery, and as just another, and we just started that about 2 years ago.
I've heard a lot of compliments about the hanging baskets and all of that. So very nice, makes Main Street that much more attractive. So you guys are giving out money, you're putting up flags, you're putting up banners, you're putting the flowers out, and we do all of this preparation also for some of our events, not only to help Main Street look good every day and every weekend when tourists come in, but some of our big events that are coming up. We've got, I know, at least one on the horizon immediately, another one this summer, and then we'll get on into later in the year. But what do you have on the tap there?
So, of course, our Evenings on Main is our free concert series, and it's every other Friday starting in June, and it runs through into September.
Okay.
And it is free to everyone. It is very well attended by our local folks, which makes me very happy, because that is what we're about. That's what everybody, a lot of people think that we're about tourism.
Right.
We, of course, welcome our visitors and are pleased for them to come to our town.
Sure.
But we want our local residents to love their town and to have things they enjoy doing and that they can do for free.
Right.
And, and enjoy the beauty of their downtown.
And you guys have got the Trout Day coming up.
In April.
That's in April.
That's April the 11th.
11th.
And that's huge. Last year, I
that's
want to
quite a
say we
crowd.
had over 300 children, and that's done by our Parks and Recs department. That's another thing that, I can't sing the praises to Luray's Parks and Recs department enough. They just do so much.
Even though I've seen it with my own eyes, I still can't believe there's a thing called a gold trout.
I know, right?
I fished for years. I didn't know there was a gold trout. So that's coming up April 11th. Lots of kids will be out there and adults with them. Great program. Get down, the downtown, get down.
So this year, with it being the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, we are expecting the downtown get down to be great. And of course, we'll be doing that. That crowd continues to grow every year. Tons of food trucks. We'll have bands. We'll have all types of entertainment for the kids. Of course, PACA will be there with their famous duck race that they do.
Yep.
LDI will be there. We'll be passing out free water to everyone.
Right.
And I know other organizations that have already reached out that say that they want to be a part of it in somehow. So it should be a great event.
Outside of the fair, I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if there's a bigger. Stanley Homecoming,
Right?
Because that's for 4 days,
Right.
and the fair goes on for over a week. But for a one-day event, I'm not sure that there's a bigger one than the July 4th downtown Get Down. That's really grown and grown.
It has grown, and the fact that it is so family friendly, and that pretty much everything's free, except for your food. I mean, the music's free.
Yeah.
The entertainment's free. There's all types of things for the kids to do.
There's a lady walking around on stilts.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah.
And of course, this seems very far out at this point, because we just barely are getting ready to enter spring here in a few days. But the Sunflower Festival around Labor Day weekend.
Yes, it'll be Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, and
it'll
that's-
actually be in September this year again.
Okay. Instead of August,
Yeah.
like it was. That's a great little festival. That has grown since it started. A great fundraiser for PACA. The town's involved. Lots going on out there at Ralph Dean Park. We talked about evenings on Main. Did we miss anything? Is there any other little activities you guys got going on, or fundraisers or plans or anything?
I hope that I'm not forgetting anything, but I just would encourage everyone to follow us on Facebook.
Yes.
And if you ever want to reach out to me, you can reach out to, oh my gosh, I did forget one big thing. The Downtown Farmers Market that will start in May.
Yes.
The third Saturday of every month, May through October, we will be having a farmers market that LDI is hosting here at the Visitor Center from 10 until 2 p.m. So be paying attention to Facebook and our website, because the vendor forms will be coming out. The cost is going to be $20 per vendor. We wanted to keep it cheap enough that everybody could be included. So, but we are going to be doing that, and that monies from that will be monies that will go into our coffers to be used toward these facade grants and things that we've discussed today.
And that starts in May.
And it will start in May.
Here at the depot?
Here,
at the
yes.
depot. And I love to see that, rejuvenated. It's been through so many iterations of the farmer's market.
Right.
Down on Mechanic Street for many years, and that had its ups and downs. Had a good heyday for a while, kind of fiddled out. Then we had the Dart of the Stars farmer's market, and I realized she didn't have maybe as much time. It took so much time to do. That became a little overwhelming. So I'm glad to see that rejuvenated again. Well, lots going on. And Jackie, once again, if I'm a new business out there, or if I want to look at a building, or if I want to talk about how the town can help me, or how LDI can help me, how can I reach LDI or you for some consultation and advice, or maybe some money?
I recommend you can email me at luraydowntown@gmail.com. That's a real quick way to get me, because I feel like that I'm always looking at emails.
Okay.
And you can also call the 540-743-7700. That's the LDI number. And then, of course, like I said, follow us on Facebook. And you're always welcome to stop in at the Visitor Center and come by my office and see me. I'm not going to promise that I'm always in there, because a lot of times I'm out bumming around on Main Street.
Right.
Okay, so, but the ladies here at the Visitor Center, if someone would come in to see me, they know how to reach me, and they can get me here pretty quick, because I'm usually just down on the street. So.
Outstanding. Luray Downtown Initiative, busy as always, folks. We're getting 5 new businesses coming in the coming months that will be opening up in downtown Luray. At least 2 eateries, an art gallery, a clothing store, and an event space, and a small bar there. So make sure you check all of those out when they get going. Don't forget about LDI, lots of events coming up. 3 different programs to help new businesses with seed money and other things, just lots and lots going on. And we love to see it here in downtown Luray. Well, if you like today's episode, folks, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Page Valley Livin. We want to thank Eleanor Arrington for all of her help behind the camera and in the editing room this week. And as always, we want to remind you to go down to the Page County Animal Shelter and help one of our furry friends find a forever home. From the Luray Page County Visitor Center here in the Depot in downtown Luray, for Jackie Wood, I'm Randy Arrington, saying until next week, enjoy that Page Valley living.